Hello. Welcome. It's 4:20. How you doing? uh, I'm Dovid B. Timeless. I'm a Jewish mystic. Yeah, if you have any questions, please feel free to type them in, and I'll be happy to see what I can do. I thought today I wanted to talk about COVID. I actually have new things to say about it. So much has been said. And, there's a lot of prayers being offered up for, for people who are ill, people who have passed away. But there hasn't been a lot of talk about sort of the spiritual significance of this worldwide event. And that should be addressed, particularly because the word kavod means respect. It's actually a word that has three meanings. Has the meaning of respect. Kavod also means heavy. And kavod also means the liver. And there's another aspect of kavod that kavod has the gematria of 32. In Hebrew, every letter of a word has an attached number. So every word has a value. And the value of lev, heart, is 32. And it's not a far jump to understand the translation of kavod being heavy related to the heart. And kavod, respect, related to the head. And kavod, liver, related to the lower part of the body. And in a sense, they're interchangeable. Why is that? Well, the head, respect. What is respect? In a sense, it's hard to define what is respect, seems to me. But one of the things that I think respect engenders is humility. And humility gives place for somebody else, something else. That there's something in the world that's greater than you. If you work in a place and maybe everyone's kind of equal and the boss walks through, everyone gives him respect because, he's on a higher level. And what we respect is we acknowledge that. We acknowledge that this person is on a higher level. It could be like a political figure, professional figure, a baseball figure. It could be, but we respect what the person did. It doesn't mean the person's a good person or a bad person. More likely, it's probably a good person. But we respect anyone who can, come to a standard of excellence. And of course, the opposite of that is disrespect. And, it's easy to see and it's easy to understand that we've disrespected the planet. That seems pretty obvious. And the problem is, of course, that we don't acknowledge that there is a people I call a higher force God. I think the most ubiquitous way to speak about this, I mean, it covers kind of all peoples, is the Creator. The Creator created us, the Creator created the planet. And it's only an assumption that everything came out of nothing and this all just happened and that we kind of don't owe respect to anything but ourselves is, I think, a very errant theory. I think that the truth is that I think I know that the truth is that the Creator created, and there's much evidence to prove that this just didn't happen because of the symmetry that is involved in this. And I mean, it's like, you know, someone sending you a watch and thinking it just made itself somehow, in this box, or the box made it, or, could be any kind of ridiculous things people think about. And, you know, but that's why we have the head. The head is on top of the body because logic, is really was supposed to rule us, not our instincts or what someone said. We should be able to logically look out there and see that there is a creator. Of course, the question is, where is the creator? That's been a question for thousands of years. Avram, 4,000 years ago, came to the earth and said, God is one, meaning that God is everywhere all the time to everybody, because this is duality, and one is not of creation, and therefore is available ubiquitously to everybody all the time, everywhere, wherever you are, whatever you're thinking, doing. God is there. Can't get away from God. Not possible. I recently was talking to a young woman and she claimed that she was an atheist. So I was interested, really, what's your, I started questioning her. And in the end, she said, oh, I just don't like to think about it. That's not really an atheist. She doesn't believe in religion, either do I, but, it's just too much for her. She doesn't want to think about it. But that's not being an atheist. An atheist is someone who thinks there is no creator, that this just all happened, or it's a mirage, or, who knows what. But when one takes that kind of attitude, was really wrong with the society of the entire world, is this kind of the idea of the Big Bang theory that just happened, and so it sort of makes like there is no real uh, morality. All that there is humanity, and if someone doesn't want to be human, well, kind of that's his right. He could be an animal, and the worst is to do it in an expedient way. That's what the Nazis did. They wanted to destroy not just destroy the Jewish people. Many people have wanted to do that. We're not a favorite amongst the world, but they wanted to do it in an expedient way, and that's what's happening these days with computers and everything. They're even fouling outer space at this point. And it was going so fast, it was about to spin out of control. And what would have happened when it spun out of control? I mean, it did already to a certain extent. But we know what would have happened. What always happens is the rich people buy everything up. And everyone are turned into slaves or vassals or, whores or whatever it is that these rich people want. And riches become so beyond anything that's possible to make in a business that everyone is reduced to sort of servitude. And we spent, particularly in America, we spent hundreds of years trying to bring about a democracy where the people rule, not people in power, but the people in general. You can have a large population and still the people can rule, and we have all the apparatus for it. But it's so intricate and it's so easy for someone to go in and just like throw a wrench into it. So when it was just about to spin out of control, I mean, there's so many signs of it. People were, used to be a great feat to go up into um, Mount Everest, the highest terrestrial place on the planet. And a few years ago, before COVID, that there were so many people going up that people were freezing, having to wait their turn. And all the really amazing places on Earth now are tourist traps, and as part of the destruction, not just of the Earth, but also of the history of the Earth. And no one could stop it. They had it so perfected, no one could stop it. So God stopped it with the word covet, that you should have respect, and you should have a heavy heart. You should be feeling in your heart what we have done to the beautiful earth. And lastly, liver, that we don't need more progress. Like a polluted body doesn't need more food. What we need now is to separate the good from the bad. We see everything that the world can become, and what money can buy, and really, what we've done with the tremendous riches that we've consolidated through this whole, corporate mechanism. The biggest thing that we've done through it is make war to be more technological and more fearful, and to go up into outer space, even taking war into outer space. Now we have an outer space, a space force. Ridiculous. The whole thing is ridiculous. We don't even have a toilet in downtown LA, probably any other of the cities. We forget about the people. We're just, supposed to work at jobs and pay our taxes so we can go up into outer space. Progress has become a cancer. There is no question. Progress has become a cancer. So, so no one could stop it. And there was no way to turn the cancer into remission. There was no really good thing we could do. Everything we did was just tepid, knowing that, this calamity is coming to us through our actions, through polluting our planet. So God had to do something. God did something. Gave us this little bug. Not just gave us this little bug, but gave it in China, which is very interesting, because it says in the end of days there'll be a war between like the West and the furthest place in the globe. And I'm not saying that they made it up or tried to do this. I mean, God forbid, I don't believe that, But what it appears to be, because it's very interesting. I mean, the closest way to America, it seems to me, is the Pacific. There's all this trade going back and forth, and one wonders why it had to go this whole way, the other way around the Earth, to go. Was it good to go west instead of east? And its final destination seems to be America, in that America suffered most from this. And I think that there is something that kind of the elephant in the room that nobody is really talking about, and that really needs to be addressed. Because we wonder, I mean, well, it says in a pandemic, wish it was that all the bad people would die, but people die indiscriminately. So some of our best, most beautiful people have died, and a lot of the people, really bad people, they live through it, And but because it happens in an indiscriminate way. But nonetheless, when you see one country is just battered, even though it might be from our own missteps and errant leadership, but we should look at ourselves and wonder why we deserve this beautiful America. And you don't have to look very far. And I certainly have been witness to it all, man. Just war after war that we have perpetrated, that we have justified through, having to protect our, what's all they're saying, to protect our whatever, forget what I can't think of it. The military, they're not just protecting the country. That's it. They're protecting our interests, not our interests. It's the interests of the people who have a lot of money who are playing out there in the world. And our government and our military is so big, so we can force people into doing things they wouldn't normally do. I knew a guy who used to go to Jamaica a lot, and he told me this story. He said, America, they went into Jamaica, said, you guys are having a lot of trouble. Let us help you sign this treaty. One of the has treaty with America, and one of the things in the treaty was they couldn't boycott any American products. So they said, why would we boycott American products, right? They signed on line. What's the next thing happening? They're dumping cigarettes in Jamaica that they're too stale to sell, to Americans. So they sell them for, 20 cents to Jamaicans and get everyone hooked on cigarettes. And now the Jamaicans are not even allowed to have a campaign to tell people that these things give you cancer, make you sick. So, in many, many ways, America has used our superpower status just to become like the, the master of the world, and everyone has to bow down to our interests. And it's a terrible thing that happened at 9/11, even though I think our government was certainly complicit in it because, I remember them egging them on. I remember bin Laden declaring war on America and Clinton just laughing. Come on, show and Bush going, bring it on, man. Bring it on. Sure, he's sitting in the White House. Bring it on to our soldiers, That's what they're always doing. And what the attack shouldn't have been a justification to ignite war throughout the Middle East. One can understand a certain amount of revenge, and maybe a little bit more. I mean, just to, they have this idea of deterrent. But to go and make war for 20 years and completely destroy other people's culture is really horrible. And on every bomb is the fingerprint of every American. We pay our taxes in whatever way we do. We contribute what we contribute. And this is the sum total of it as we go and try to, conquer the world. Like it's ours to conquer. We have the whole world right here in America. Everyone's the melting pot of the whole world. Everybody from throughout the world really has the right to come here, And so someone was saying to me recently that she was like from the South Sea Islands. And she was telling me how she had like this organization. This organization was helping people from the South Sea Islands get more of what was on like the mainland. And how they were kind of, if you would call it, but they were considered like lacking. And I suggested maybe she should try a different sort of way of looking at it, that America is a completely all-inclusive country of everyone in the world. We're really like a little world, and that we need more representation from peoples, like from the South Pacific, who know how to read water. Everyone brings like a different talent into America, and that's what makes America really a great place. In Hebrew, you can break the word America down into Am, which might seem like a not so nice thing to say, to be, but really on the contrary, because it says in the Talmud that a full vessel is a strong vessel. No, I'm sorry. A full vessel is a weak vessel because it's full. You can't do anything with the vessel. But an empty vessel is a strong vessel, and that's the beauty of America, is the emptiness. We don't have this long cultural history. I can remember in the '60s when Kennedy went to France, and Americans were just considered completely uncultured. And his wife was such a hit because she spoke French, and no one in America spoke French or anything else. And to the point that when Kennedy got up to speak to their Congress, that he introduced himself as Jackie's husband. And everyone got a big laugh out of that. He had a nice sense of humor. But since then, we've really become, the seat of power, and we haven't used it in a good way. And we've made war after war, and all the things that, sensitive, sweet Americans are feeling. Our poor children, they're out of school. Oh, my grandmother died. It's all real. But when we think of the kind of pain we inflicted in the Middle East and Afghanistan, and the kind of things we've done around the world, just for our own wealth and empowerment. And in the end, we grew, a disease that's eating us from within. People who don't want to be inclusive, people who don't want to move on, people who want to own this country, just like this country wants to own the world. And I really think that, we should think about it. I think that we should stop looking at ourselves as an innocent nation, is something that George Bush said after 9/11. Oh, we're so innocent. We weren't innocent at all. What started, this Arab revolt against America was when Clinton was the first one to put American bases in Saudi Arabia. And for many people, that was over the line. And we want to be able to judge other people's by our standards. And that's just not correct. America might be the melting pot, and English might be like the last language, but that doesn't erase all the other peoples and all the other cultures and all the other languages. And, and we certainly have enough problems in America, as we're seeing, and probably all this stuff is being visited on us, that we should see. That we should see really how neglectful we've been of our own country. For what? To have domination in the world? Why? Because the people, in the Pentagon, who are known to be taking amphetamines, which make you really paranoid, are worried that someone's going to come and hurt us, that we have to have a space for, so no one get, those Jewish lasers can't get us. And this whole thing is ridiculous, and there is, we don't need a movement against it. We're all moving against it. There's a certain amount that's trying to hold back people who are, they like the status quo. They're doing fine. But this is a different time we're going into. This is a time of love. And one of the signs of love is that we're asked to wear masks, not because it's going to help us. It's not. But it will help people around us, that our breath will be muted. And it's a way for everyone to show love. And all of this is God talking to us. This is how God talks to us. I get some booming voice out of the sky or something. It's ridiculous. God talks to us in very subtle ways, and we have to listen. And if we don't listen, then we get a plague put on us. And maybe we'll listen then. And if we don't listen then then the weather will change. All this stuff is, these are called the curses. There's 49 of them, I think. Because 7 times 7, that's 49. And they're written actually twice in the Torah. And just that these are the things that are going to happen. It's not like they have to happen. But if we go in the wrong direction, this is what we'll draw down upon ourselves, and we've drawn it down upon ourselves. And anyone who wants to go back to the way things were, tough luck, man. That ain't gonna happen, because it only helped a very few people, and it destroyed the earth, and it gave no security to anyone. It didn't build anything that, in case things happen, there would be some way to help the people. If there was a plague, if there was a loss of infrastructure, that's what we should be doing to safeguard our country. I mean, not going around making wars. I mean, none of these wars did a fucking thing for anybody. And, except for people getting rich from them, because our economy is based on war. And there's no question, these are the end of days when we will war no more. When the instruments of war will be beaten down into plowshares, meaning that all this technology and all this stuff we have that can make speeding bullets go much faster, that will be returned into, speedily helping people in the earth. And because, the only thing that we're equal in is our uniqueness. And we're all equally created unique. We see that from the thumbprints, that no one has the same thumbprints. They say there's no snowflake that is a replica of another, that every snowflake is different. And in that we are all unique, and we have equal right to be here on this planet. And maybe we're all in different places for different reasons. We all have a different story, and the Creator loves every one of us and doesn't want any of us coming to harm, but rather to have a happy, pleasurable life. And that's what the people want also. You just got these governments in between who won't let peace happen. They just won't. They just, and they have some sort of pipe dream. Hullabye, they should smoke something. Maybe they would. That's the problem. They don't have a pipe dream, and all they see is themselves everywhere where they look. And anyways, I mean, this stuff's coming to an end. How it comes to an end is really up to us. We hopefully we can make a beautiful story out of this. And all the pain and all the despair that's gone on throughout the world, it says in the end that God will reveal a beautiful light in the world. And through this, God will wipe away the tear from every cheek and make things good again. And certainly the Creator who created us and loves us and sustains us, each one of us, good, bad, whatever we are, God loves our story. God's a part of our story. Doesn't always approve, but God is there. The Creator is there. And we should take care of ourselves. We should take care of our planet. And, we should just, take care to have respect before the Creator. There's a book called Rashis Chochmah, The Beginning of Wisdom. And the beginning of wisdom is fear, yira, and fear is related to the word ria, which means to see. Because if we see, it's not like we're going to be afraid to get hurt, but it's a kind of fear which is like awe. And we should be living in awe. All the awe of the Creator who creates all of us and loves all of us and just wants us to do the same, love one another. And, it's hard enough to do without things being made hard. Anyways, I see no one's asked many questions, so I'm going to end here. I'd like to invite you to my website, dovidhouse.com, where you can buy my book, Sex, a Metaphor to History, Trump 777, and the 1,000 Years of Woman. I have some other books, plus my course based on my book, Kabbalistic Tarot, on Udemy. It's like a 4-hour course. You can learn how to read tarot and learn how the Tree of Life works. Anyways, thank you for watching my video. I'm going to try to do this Monday through Thursday. And so hope to see you tomorrow. Bye.